Egyptian Heaven and Hell by E.A. Wallis Budge. We are continuing the short form of the book Tuat and the Book of the Gates, which is volume 2 of 3, with chapter 2 of the Book of the Gates, which I'm going to label as part 3, right? The Antechamber of the Tuat, the first division of the Book of the Gates. Of the Tuat, according to the sarcophagus of Seti I, we see the horizon of the west are the mountains of the west, divided into two parts, and the boat of the sun is supposed to sail between them. And to enter by this passage into the Tuat, on the right hand is fixed a jackal-headed standard, and on each side of it kneels a bearded god. One god is called Dot, and is a personification of the region which is beyond the day, and the other Set, and represents a funeral mountain. Set. You know, it's what we think of the devil, right? On the left hand is a ram-headed standard, and on each side of it also kneels a bearded god. As before, one is called Dot and the other Set. The ram's head has the horizontal, wavy horns, which belong to the particular species of ram that was the symbol of the entity Mu. This animal disappeared from Egypt before the 12th dynasty, but the tradition of him remains. In the middle of the scene sails the boat of the sun. Remember all that stuff about Yuf. The entity is symbolized by a beetle within a disc, which is enveloped in the folds of a serpent having its tail in its mouth. At the bows stand the entity of so-called divine intelligence, whose name is Saw. And in the stern, near the two panels, stands Haka. And, you know, the sort of the will, because the astral soul and in control of the astral soul. The personification of the word of power, or of magical utterance. The entity who usually accompanies is Saw is who. So Saw, also known as Sart, wisdom, and Hu is authority. And the text that refers to the sun entity, we will go into after looking at that. Look at that, see what's going on? What do you think the parts symbolize? And as long as one person's going to see these through, it's worth doing. Hopefully more will be invited, but we'll do what we can, right? Ra saith unto the mountain, send forth light, O mountain. Let radiance arise from that which hath devoured me, and which hath slain men, and is filled up with the slaughter of the so-called gods. Breathe to you, O ye who dwell in the light, in your habitations, my splendors shall be to you. I have decreed their slaughter, and they have slaughtered everything which existeth. I have hidden you from those who are upon the earth, restoring the crown to those who are in the mountain. The demons say, let the jackal-headed scepter emit the words of this great entity who are joined together, his members coming then unto us. O thou from whom we have come forth, cries of joy are to thee. O thou who art in thy disk, thou great entity whose forms are manifold, their provisions of bread cakes and beer. You know, the demon of day to the demon of the demon of the sun to the demon of earth, Sorath to Lucifer well, what's the word for Satan of earth? But Belial, maybe. The paragraph below the above text is practically a duplicate of it, but it contains no mention of either the jackal-headed or the ram-headed scepter, and is unnecessary to give it there. On the right of the boat stand 12 entities who are called gods of the mountain. Natru Set. Well, obviously the demons of the mountain. And the text referring to them reads, but here again, we have some more stuff going on here. And let's look at that and try to either read it or look at what it means symbolically. And that's the part of the horizon over which the boat of the sun passes to enter the Tuat at eventide. And in it are 12 entities, a Set Yementet. And what does this text read? Have come into being from Ra, and from his substance, and have emerged from his eye. He hath decreed for them a place, the hidden mountain, Yemenset. Oh, Yimtset. Which consumeth men and demons, and all cattle, and all reptile which are created by this great entity, and this great entity hath decreed the plans thereof, having made to spring up in the earth, which he created. On the left of the boat stand 12 entities, who are called the demons of Set Yementet. Yaman. Oh, there's an extra N. I apologize for not figuring that out earlier. Natru Set Yemen Netet. So there's YMNNTT. And the text that refers to that. The hidden place, those who have consumed the men and the entities, and all the cattle and all the reptiles which this great entity hath created. This great entity hath decreed plans for them, after he had made them to spring up in the land which he created, that is to say, in the Yemen, which he hath made. And remember how in the Quran it says that they have decreed a plan, but God has decreed a plan. And so we're going to see, right? Sharma, peace be upon you.